Hi everyone, welcome back to Sit, Sip and Knit, tutorial number 3 of our slipper sock along. Hopefully you were able to join me in the first 2 tutorials on your way to making a slipper sock. If you are a beginner sock knitter, this is a great tutorial for you, and you're welcome to join at any time. Go back and look at tutorials 1 and 2 to help you out. I am using the Flexi Flips needles here, but you can use double points or magic loop, or 9-inch circulars, whatever's your favorite go-to. However, this tutorial will be using the Flexi Flips, as that's the pattern that I wrote up for them. They're very convenient to use, and you might want to give them a try. All right, I'm going to go ahead and ask my cameraman to come around, and then we're going to start tutorial number 3. Okay, so if you joined me on the first 2 tutorials, you would have, or I hope you would have, finished your German twisted cast on. You would have done your leg of your sock in 2x2 rib. And then, as per the last tutorial, you would have worked on your heel flap here. Now, this heel flap is Eye of Partridge heel flap, and like I've stated before, there are many ways to do a heel. This is just one of the ways that I wanted to show you. It is a top-down construction. All right, so if you take a look at your heel flap, if you finished as per the pattern, my size was a medium that I'm making, and the pattern told me that I should have, for size medium, 9 slipped stitches finished on the side here, so that I knew how long my heel flap would be. So if you take a look, all right, this is just the beginning of where we split. And then counting the slip stitches, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 done, with the last one being still in the process of being worked. So I want to have 9 slip stitches done. All right, and if you were making the small, then that would be 8 slip stitches done. And the size large, you would have 10 slip stitches done. You would have ended doing a purl row across. Okay, so you're ready to begin your heel turn. Now I wanted to take a look again at the, to teach you how to read your knitting here. You can see these elongated stitches here. Let me grab a needle here. These are your slip stitches. And if, as I talked about last time, you count the rows by counting the slip stitches by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 rows completed with the 19th on the needle. But that's how you would count that. All right. And if you, once you get into making socks and you're doing heel flaps, you'll learn that the heel flap should actually be square. See that? So I have actually gone across here for medium size, 18 stitches this way, 18 rows, and then half of that, 9 slip stitches. So that's just a way to keep that figure in your head, so that going forward, when you start making socks, you kind of get an idea of how long or big to make a heel flap. All right, so we are now going to do what's called turning the heel. This will be probably a shorter tutorial, sorry. And I'm just going to have you do the heel turn for this one. And then we'll get up into the next one. We will get into picking up stitches along the side and then starting our foot. All right, so let me show you on this finished sock, slipper sock, where we are at. Okay, so if you take this sock here, we'll turn it this way. All right, so our German twisted cast on, our leg 2x2 rib. You can see the heel flap of this one done here. See that? And then right here where your heel would go is this heel turn. And this is the part we're going to do today. It is not hard. It's actually easy, but I found when I was first doing socks that this is something that I would not stop in the middle of. I would make sure that I allowed myself enough time to complete this heel turn. I know counting your rows or ticking off rows is great, but that's just something that I learned at first until I was sure of what I was doing. But anyway, so let's go ahead and start this heel turn. And just as before, I will put these directions, this part of the tutorial down below in the drop box as to how you do this heel turn, as well as you can follow along with the video portion. Okay, so as I stated, you would have finished your heel flap by doing a purl row. Okay, so we are now on the right side of your sock, of the heel flap here. Okay, now just as we slipped every stitch, first stitch of the row doing our heel flap, we're going to continue with that. We're going to continue slipping the first stitch of every row. Okay, so this is a right side row, so we're knitting across it. So I am going to, with the yarn in the back here, slipping as if to purl, I'm going to slip that first stitch. Oh, it looks like I split the yarn there. There we go. So I slipped that first stitch, and continuing forward, you will slip every first stitch of the row. Now, as per the pattern, and you'll see, and as per your size, you are going to go ahead and knit, okay, for a medium, I am going to knit 10 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's for the medium size. For the small, you will be knitting 8 stitches, and for the large, you will be knitting 12 stitches. And so altogether, with the slip stitch, that would be one more. So I have 11 stitches on my needle, actually, right here. Okay, now my next step is we're going to do a slip, slip, knit. Okay, so if you're not familiar with that, let me show you how that goes. Now this part, you are going to slip as if to knit one stitch. Okay, slip the second stitch as if to knit, and knit those two together by coming with your left needle into the front, don't split your yarn, and knitting them together. So that was a slip, slip, knit. I'll show you that again in the next coming rows. Okay, so as per the pattern, I slipped the first stitch. For the medium, I knit 10 more stitches, and then I did a slip, slip, knit. All right, and the last part of this row is to do a knit 1 and turn it around. Okay, so on my size, I have these 4 stitches left, just hanging there, and that's okay. So now I'm on a purl side. All right, so the first stitch of every row, you're going to slip it. This one I'm going to slip as if to purl with the yarn in front because I'm purling. All right, so I slipped that one. And now, as per the pattern, the medium size, I'm going to purl the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was for the medium size. The small size, you would purl 3. The large size, you'd purl 7. Okay, and then on the purl row, you're going to purl the next two together. See that? You come in as if to purl, purl two together, right? And then purl one. Now I have 4 stitches left on this side, and I'm going to turn it around again. All right. Okay. This is like doing short rows. All right. Okay. Now, as per the pattern, I'm going to slip the next stitch with my yarn and back, purlwise. All right. And now I'm going to knit 6. So I'm going to knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And now you can see where I turned the last time I left those 4 hanging. There is a wide space here. Okay. What we want to do is close up that space. And this will be in the pattern. All right. So I just knit 6 stitches. All right. And now I'm going to do a slip, slip, knit again. I'm going to slip this one, slip across that divide there, slip that one. I'm going to knit those 2 together by bringing my left needle, right? My left needle, and then knitting those 2 together, and then finishing with another knit. Now I have 2 hanging there, right? That's okay. You're going to turn around. All right. And remember, it'll be different depending on what size slipper sock you're making. Okay, so my next row here is a purl row. And as per the pattern, I'm going to always slip my first stitch, and then I'm going to purl 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, purl 7. And as you can see, I am 1 stitch before that gap again. All right. And as per the pattern, we're going to close that gap. We're on a purl row, so we're going to purl 2 together and then purl 1. Okay. So now I have 2 hanging over here. So you know you're on track. You should have the same number of stitches left. All right, so we turn. All right, and then continue. Row 5 would be slip the first stitch as if to purl. A size 8 slipper sock says I'm going to knit 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A medium size, is that what I said? Anyway, okay, so here I am again. Here is the gap. I'm on a knit row, so I'm going to, again, I'm going to slip, slip, knit, splitting my yarn, knit those 2 together, right? And then knit the last one. Okay, so I used up all the stitches there. Now I'm going to turn. All right. And now, again, we're slipping the first stitch as if to purl. The pattern says that I am going to purl 9. And you'll see it brings me right back to that gap, 1 before the gap. So that's the slip, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and now here I am. Here's the gap. I'm 1 stitch before that gap. I'm on a purl side. So to close that gap, I'm purling 2 together and then purling the last one. And there you have it, your heel turn. So now you have the heel of your slipper sock turned right there. Okay? Please go ahead and try this. If you have any questions, please go ahead and message me down below, or I also put on there my email address. You're very welcome to email me any questions. I will get back to you. If you need an extra video, I can certainly do that. But you saw pretty quick when you're dealing with worsted weight yarn and thicker needles, it goes pretty quick. So you should be able to complete that heel turn like a pro. And like I said, practice makes perfect. And if you need any help, please let me know. And look for tutorial number 4. I'll give you a few days to do this. You can see how quick I did that in just this tutorial. So I'll go ahead and let you finish that up. And then in a few days, I'll go ahead and put out another video as to how to pick up stitches and continue with our slipper sock. Happy knitting!